Hi and welcome to our subscription video, which is a little exclusive video we do for you subscribers who receive our surprise subscription about every 4 weeks, where we've selected 2 different coffees that we think are exciting and that we want to present to you. And I'm joined here today by Siv.
Hi.
Bar manager at Bernico. And you've been to one of the farms that we're going to taste in a minute.
Yeah, I've been to Vista Hermosa.
Yeah, and I've been to the other one, which is Kiangoi in Kenya. But let's brew up some coffee so we have something to taste and talk about.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna test you, see if you can taste the difference between these 2 coffees. I think this subscription, it's gonna be very easy to taste the difference. These are 2 quite different coffees, but they're both washed, so it's nothing like washed and natural, but you know, you're 2 very, very different origins. All right, well, cheers.
Cheers.
A little hot still.
Yeah,
that
second one, very hot.
It's pretty obvious which is which here.
It's pretty obvious. Yeah. Even just for the aromas.
Yeah, exactly. So we have over here in our right cup the Kiangoi, and the other one's the Vista Hermosa. So you've been to Vista Hermosa. When was it? Is it 2 years ago now? Or?
Year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I went to Vista Hermosa farm and visited Edwin.
And going around the farm, what really struck you the most?
The steepness of some of the trees is planted on it. It's very steep. So like imagining actually being there and picking the coffee, that's a really, really big challenge.
Vista Hermosa means the beautiful view, which is absolutely true.
Completely true. Even at night, all the sky is like stars everywhere, and then in the day you can just see mountains around the whole farm.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And the processing they do is a traditional wash process. They have water coming from the streams in the area that they collect. After the washing, they also make sure to rinse and treat that water before it's let back into nature. It's situated in an area called Huehuetenango. It's not pronounced Hue or whatever you think. It's Huehuetenango. Quite high altitude. It's like, I think it goes all the way up to like 19, maybe even 2,000 meters altitude there. Yeah. And they have a lot of different varieties on the farm. Including a variety garden where they experiment with a lot of different varieties, I think like 60 or something. Yeah. This one is Bourbon, Caturra and Catuai. So quite sweet, very balanced. How would you describe the flavor of this?
Balanced, but also one of the cleanest coffees we've had. It does, like, the tale in the bars is that it's not a very acidic coffee. I do feel like it has some acidity, but it's just in a very clean way compared to, for example, the Kenyan coffees. Yeah, no,
it's really also depending on what you contrast with the coffee. Like we're sending you a super, super acidic coffee. So if you have these 2 next to each other, you'll feel like it's low acidity. But if you have this up next to darker roast or a Brazilian or basically a lot of other Central American coffees, this one definitely has quite a bit of acidity, but it's not overwhelming.
No.
It's kind of like underbuilding the sweetness in the cup as well.
Yeah.
And I find like good, like kind of caramelly, toffee, like chocolatey notes. But it can be sometimes for baristas as well a hard one to put descriptors on because it's very clean coffee. It's the perfect example of what cuppers call clean cup. Kiangoi, which is in the Kirinyaga district. It's right like on the south side of Mount Kenya. Beautiful area, really nice district for really acidic coffees. Kiangoi we've had on the menu the last couple of years, I think last 3 years. This year we've actually only bought this particular Peaberry lot exclusively for you subscribers. So if you're not subscribing yet, you can still make it in and taste the Kiangoi Peaberry this year. This is a small outturn, so it's like pretty much a week's harvest from these different members of this cooperative factory called Kiangoi that deliver cherries. It's mostly SL28, some SL34, a little bit of Batian, and Ruro 11 is also in here. But it has, like for me, so much of the classic Kenyan, but just done extremely well.
Yeah, like a whole fruit bump in your mouth.
Yeah.
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 Next to Vista Hermosa, it goes way more explosive in your mouth. I would say like all these like acidity and fruitiness and berry coming into your mouth. Not in a clean way like the Vista Hermosa. It's
it's more wild and
Yeah.
but it's still, I think it's still a super clean coffee. It just has like a really nice sharp acidity. There's like citrus, there's different kind of like red berries, like red currants and even gooseberries, if you know those. It's like a really nice like sharp acidity that I think is beautiful. And the Peaberry are fun. That's the tiny little beans that you'll see in your bag. When the cherry has only formed one seed inside. That usually you have the two seeds with the flat side against each other, and here it's only formed one seed, so it becomes this round shape, hence the name Peaberry. And it can be a tough one to roast because you need to put in a lot of energy. It's a very dense little seed, very dense bean, so it needs a lot of energy to fully develop. So you're also part of what we call internally the green group.
Yeah.
And maybe just explain to people what that is.
Yeah, so it's a small colleague group in Coffee Collective that works with sustainability of all sorts, including, for example, our transparency report that we do every year.
What is that?
That's an overview of all the coffees that we purchased that year, and we pledge to be transparent about our prices. So it's who we bought from, how much we bought, and what we paid for the coffee, and how long we've had a relationship with those farmers.
And that last point is actually something that Edwin from Vista Hermosa suggested to us, because when we originally wanted to be transparent and basically open the books completely and show you guys how much we're paying for each coffee in dollars per pound, he came back and said, well, if you're going to do that, I'd also like to have a little note in there of how long the relationship has been.
One of the differences between these two coffees is that the Vista Hermosa is one farm and the Kiangoi is from a cooperative. And Vista Hermosa marks one of our first direct trades. And in Coffee Collective, we work with direct trades where we pay a quality bonus, which is a certain percentage above the market price. And for the Vista Hermosa, it was 125% that we paid above market price this year.
And Kiangoi, because it's a cooperative, is slightly different. It's a bunch of smallholder farmers that are delivering cherry to here. We are only buying a certain outturn or a small amount from this cooperative. So once they sold all their coffee to many different buyers, that's when they have the proceeds, the net result of all their coffee, and they can pay that out to the farmers, depending on how much coffee each of them delivered. But I think the transparency table in our sustainability report is one of the things I'm most proud about, because it really shows that we have nothing to hide. And we kind of started it so that hopefully you, the customers, would start to ask questions about how much of the money you pay for a bag of coffee actually goes back to the farmer. All right, well.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Keep up the good work in the green group.
Thanks.
And we hope you enjoy these two coffees, and we hope that you'll be back and tasting two new coffees with us in about 4 weeks' time. Thanks for now.